Hello dear students. As of today in the evening of Saturday 10th May, India and Pakistan have agreed to sign a treaty of ceasefire. That means there will be no more further escalation, military escalation on both sides of the battle. That means India will not further decimate the Pakistani air bases, etc., and so on and so forth. Air, water, and land. In all these three arenas, there will be no further warfare between the two countries. Now, first, let us see the series of events that led to this ceasefire. First and foremost, there was a heinous attack, terrorist attack in the Pahalgar area of Jammu and Kashmir, where 25 innocent civilians lost their lives to the terrorists which were sponsored by Pakistan. Now, as a response to this, India launched its Operation Sindoor. The key aspect of Operation Sindoor was to eliminate terrorist targets in Pakistan. According via the Operation Sindoor, Indian armed forces laid waste to about 9 of the integral or important terrorist camps that were placed in Pakistan. All the critical infrastructure of these terrorist organizations are destroyed, and almost over 100 terrorists have been killed. Now, why is this essential? Because we all know Pakistan is a sponsorer of terrorists. By the term sponsorer, we mean it helps in the recruitment process, it helps in cultivation, and it helps in the training of these terrorists. Firstly, by allowing various terror organizations such as Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Toiba, and so on, Pakistan gives them refuge. It gives them security. It lets them establish their own infrastructure within their own country. Now, having this amount of freedom, these terrorist organizations, they open shop within the borders of Pakistan, and they they start a process of recruiting people. They radicalize the innocent civilians by brainwashing them with their ideology, and they recruit individuals into this acts of terrorism. Firstly, after recruitment, they will get trained. And training is done in the sense they are taught how to use firearms, how to use grenades, how to, in a sense, a type of military training is being given to these indoctrinated militants. Now, after the training is complete, based on the plans, these terrorists are made to infiltrate India via the POK region. So, this is why Operation Sindoor came into effect, to destroy such terror training institutions all across the Pakistani area. Now, after the success of Operation Sindoor, we saw an enraged Pakistan claiming it to be an attack on itself. Say, it is a funny notion, say, where we are targeting terrorist infrastructure, we are trying to kill terrorists, but Pakistan seemed to see it as an act of war. It perceives this act of killing terrorists, which are a burden to the entire world, as an act of war. So, citing these these attacks on terrorist infrastructure as an act of war, Pakistan went ahead and launched a massive aerial attack on India. About 15 locations along the India-Pakistan border were targeted by the Pakistan. See, there were a lot of surface-to-air missiles, surface-to-surface missiles fired, targeting these 15 critical cities of India along Jammu Kashmir, Punjab, and Rajasthan, essentially the region of the border. But this proved to be futile for Pakistan. It is thanks to our air defense system. In the previous class, I explained to you what is a air defense system, how S-400s are crucial and integral in maintaining the security of a region. As I told you, aerial attacks are the most difficult attacks for the military to deal with. Therefore, Pakistan attacked on used missiles, drones, etc. to carry out bombardment over 15 cities. But all of these missiles never made their way into the cities. There has been almost 99% failure on the Pakistani side because of our air defense system. The sublime air defense system of India came to its aid by intercepting all the missiles that were fired upon these 15 critical cities and neutralized. Most of the drones were neutralized and all of the missiles were also neutralized. See, if it wasn't for our air defense system, the casualty on this side of on India on India's side would be in the number of millions. So millions of lives were saved in the past few days by thanks to our military and administration via the air defense system. Now, as Pakistan saw there is no fruit, their acts of aggression were being futile. The death blow came today morning, that is the early morning of Saturday, which is 10th May. India bombarded 6 military bases. A striking difference because see, Operation Sindoor, we only struck the terrorist organizations, the terror camps as such. But since Pakistan retaliated with a full-blown attack on Indian territory, the army, the military responded with a crucial hit on 6 military bases. India successfully carried out the decimation of these 6 military bases which are present across the border of India. Now this is a critical hit to the fighting power of Pakistan with all their major military bases currently in ruin and inoperable. See what the constituents of a military base are. There are mostly runways which facilitate the fighter jets taking off and landing. They have stores of munition. All the bombs etc. that are to be used in the war are kept in these strategical areas, and the command centers. India made precision hits. It was not random. These 6 bases were taken into consideration, and the command, every base has a command center. From the command center, the directions are given to the entire base to follow through an operation. Now India aimed exactly on these command centers, destroying the command centers within the military bases of Pakistan. When you cut the head of a snake, the entire snake is dead. So therefore, by destroying the command centers, these 6 bases have become inoperable. Now this struck the Pakistani military. It was the final death blow to this escalation. Now, Pakistan also had air defense systems similar to India, but India made sure to destroy all these, the major air defense system that were placed in Lahore. So by firstly destroying their air defense system and hitting 6 critical bases, India had a clear edge in the escalation. Now, after all the losses that Pakistan bore, today that is the evening of Saturday, the DGMO of Pakistan telephoned India and asked for a ceasefire. See, before these events at Friday, the general of Pakistan was having a top official meeting where he was seated and all the top officials of Pakistan were accompanying him. There he made a statement saying that we will respond in kind, we will destroy he showed his bravado, saying that Pakistan will easily defeat India, so on. He said they might have started the war, but we will finish it, we will put an end to it. These were the words of the general. Firstly, the main mistake here is India did not start this escalation. This escalation began due to Pakistan's sponsoring terrorism and carrying out terrorist activities within India. And secondly, yes, the Pakistan themselves did stop the war, but not in a fashion the general hoped he would see. So after the call received from the Pakistan, the Indian officials, they agreed to a ceasefire. So both the countries, as of now, will not further have any military action in the region. Now, what are the key takeaways? Key takeaways from this battle. As we all know, India has emerged the clear winner of this skirmish. Firstly, because terror camps. Nine terror camps have been destroyed. Critical infrastructure of terrorists has been destroyed. So for a foreseeable future, at least for few months, there will be no regrouping of terrorists because they have lost their camps. It will be difficult for them to carry out indoctrination, radicalization, etc. Next, second was the main reason for our victory, the air defense. India's air defense came and fulfilled its promise, protecting millions of citizens. We would have lost millions if it wasn't for the air defense system of our country. There was a lot of opposition when India spent a lot of money buying S-400. Now this act of air defense, this has justified why this much money should be spent on air defense. The second key takeaway was a strong air defense of our country. Third was the military camps. By destroying 6 military camps in a night raid, it is clearly evident to Pakistan regarding the capabilities of the Indian military. Now, after hitting such secured bases, military bases with such precision and devastation, it has become clear to Pakistan, if it was not already, that a drawn out struggle, a drawn out battle with India is impossible for them to win. So this shows to the military might. This contributes to the military might of India, and air defense systems is a symbol of security. So India is firmly capable of defending its own border. Not only defense, it is capable of striking enemy targets with precision and destroying military camps. So these are the most important key takeaways from the skirmish. Now the next is what would go on in the future, in the next coming days. What do we foresee? Now, since the battle on the ground has ended, now the arena of battle will shift from physical warfare to the psychological kind. Now media houses will be the key targets. Now Pakistan will use all types of fake news and flood the media with such fake news claiming the death of innocent civilians in their borders. It will try to build a propaganda against India. So that is where the next few days we as citizens of our country should be aware. It is strictly feasible if we only consume the information that is given to us by the press bureau, any official sources such as some official news channels or directly or statements given directly by the government itself are the ones to be considered and consumed. There will be a lot of fake propaganda in your WhatsApp, Facebook, social media, Instagram, etc. will be flooded with fake news. So it is advised that we check the facts before we build our minds. So this is how we can further tackle the Pakistani advancements. Now next would be, we all heard that the IMF gave a 1.3 billion bailoff to the Pakistan. See, International Monetary Fund helps countries which are in a dire economic situation. In few years past, we saw Sri Lanka was struggling with this. So IMF bailed out Sri Lanka. Now it is a shock to everyone why a country that is sponsoring terrorism and also has the ability to in participate in war is being awarded this relief. Now 1.3 billion which Pakistan will receive, most of it, majority part of that will go to the military funding. Firstly, the moment money arrives into Pakistan, all of this money would be transferred to China. China will supply them with drones, munitions. About 81% of all the military needs of Pakistan are met by China. No wonder they lost the war they lost the battle so easily. Next, now this will not be used, some of it might be used for more disastrous purposes such as the terrorist organizations. See, Pakistan as a country cannot survive without terror funding. It has to fund terrorism. There is no other way for it. So a substantial amount of 1.3 billion will also go into terror funding, where new terrorist bases might come up or the existing ones might get repaired. Now, at the end of the during the ceasefire, India had made one thing clear, that any terrorist attacks from now onwards will be treated as an act of war, and Pakistan can expect operations similar to Operation Sindoor if it participates in terrorist activities in the future. So it is a clear message to the Pakistani government military that such acts of aggression from future will not go unpunished. If they try to cause trouble to the Indian security by funding terrorism, terrorists, etc., the repay will be on the scale that we saw in the past few days. So after all this, there will be a peaceful situation going ahead. There was a bit of worry in the Indian side because of the rampant attacks from Pakistan, though yes, the Indian Air Defense, the administration, the military, everyone came together and they have protected millions together in our country. One other problem that arises from this 1.3 bailout given by IMF is, see, China as of now is struggling with its economy. Now IMF giving money to Pakistan and Pakistan purchasing arms and ammunition from China will strengthen the Chinese economy. See, China always uses this distraction strategy. It always distracts India using Pakistan as a puppet. Pakistan is an all-weather friend of China. It dances according to the tune that China plays them. So the major problem for India now would be to look after Chinese advancements. And also next, since the Indus Water Treaty is still in abeyance, India will look to bolster its infrastructure such as hydroelectricity, dam building, etc. Now the concentration will shift to developmental activities, firstly restoration and then developmental activities within Jammu and Kashmir. Thank you.